and cheer. One for all that children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, miracles everywhere. Holding tight to ancient rise of our dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, you hear everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside, and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, every star here. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer. One for all the children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols everywhere. Holding tight to ancient life of our dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside, and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here. Every star, such spirit of the year. Silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them sing. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Busy sidewalk, dressed in holiday style. In the air, there's a feeling of Christmas. Oh, children laughing, people passing, really smile and a smile. And on every street corner, you hear silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Hear them sing, oh, soon it will be Christmas Day. Street to street lights, even stoplights, flicker and ring, and the shoppers rush home with their treasure. Hear the snow crunch, see the big bunch, the Lord's big scene, and above all, what song you'll hear. Silver bells, oh, it's Christmas time in city. Yes, yes, hear them sing. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Oh, silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Oh, sing a sing. Soon it will be Christmas
Merry Christmas, baby. Should it treat me nice?
Hello, 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 hello. Happy Tuesday to each of you, and this is our show. Welcome to Perspective, episode number 22. Very excited about tonight's show. We have a few surprises for you, so I'm not going to delay the time. First, let me thank each of you for tuning in tonight. I know that many of you are used to us doing Monday night show, but last night I did yield Monday night to most of you should have saw the post on my page and on the business page. Last night was Birmingham Community Mass Choir's Christmas concert, and they are the oldest choir aggregation in Birmingham, and they've been doing that concert since before I came out of the womb. So I thought it not robbery to yield to them the entire night. So here we are tonight, and kudos to Birmingham Mass for stellar excellence concert and all that they do in the gospel community. So tonight, I am very excited. Been waiting to do this interview for a while. I'm sure you've been seeing about it on Facebook, but my company, Divine Vision Entertainment, tomorrow we are hosting our virtual theater production of the COVID-19 Christmas Love Chronicles. So some of the cast are in tonight, and a few will be joining shortly. So I'm not going to delay the hour. And the whole show tonight, we're going to be talking about first half. We're going to start out talking about the show itself, and then the second half, you'll get a chance to talk to some of the founding members of the company. Some stories you've never heard before. So this is a treat we wanted to offer you tonight. So let me go ahead and bring our guest in. Very excited about this. All right, all right. Like I said, this is just a few of us, and as some of them come in, I may be taking some of you backstage, but we will bring you some in. And some of these lovely ladies, three of them, Trish, Beryl, and Queen, they will actually be with me throughout the show tonight. But as I said, these are some of the cast members. So let's go ahead and get this started. What I want to do, they are going to remain muted until I introduce them. And so what will actually happen, we're going to talk about the show. So to get the show started, what made me, first of all, do a show in this time? So have been talking to the cast, and some would say that well, y'all just disappeared. Well, really we didn't. We did kind of take a hiatus from performing on the stage, but many of us, we've worked together in numerous projects, my church and all of the things. So we're also celebrating our 8th anniversary. So we were talking before the year started, and I said, y'all know what, 2020, we got to come back and do this thing. People are asking, and it really got to the point where people I would see that I didn't even know. They was like, "Hey, I know you." I'm like, "You know me for real?" Because I'll play crazy in a minute. I just will. I love to laugh and have fun. And they was like, "Yeah, you famous. You know, you've had plays at the Carver Theater and the Boutwell." I said, "Yeah, you definitely know me." So when you hear those things like that and those comments from people you don't know, it just does something to you. So long story short, we're planning for December, and then COVID hit. And when they announced that the Gators were changing, so that kind of X'd that out. So a few of the original cast members, we actually got together for a virtual reunion, and the idea was dropped by Queen. Actually, she said, "Man, you know what?" She said, we should still do a play, but make it virtual." And I said, "You know what? Let's do it." So kind of got to brainstorming, and we were thinking about the best thing that would be safe for everyone. The aiders were out. I know some have tried it, and but I wanted to make sure that we kept everyone safe. So I think you all will be pleased at what you see tomorrow. So I'm excited to hear from them. So I'm gonna start at the top. The beautiful lady next to me. So listen, if you've been in Birmingham any length of time, you know Trisha Watkins Hall, as my grandmother would call her, Trisha Ann. Trish is no secret to the Birmingham area. Trish is an awesome singer, an awesome musician, and for a number of years, she graced us at the New Hope Baptist Church as the director of the Harmon Sound Mass Choir. That's actually how we met. I think I was about 4 or 5 years old when I started singing under Trisha's direction, and we just I don't use the word, but we just remain family ever since then. So Trish, welcome. I'm glad that you're able to do this production again with us tonight.
Thank you, J. Paul. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure
Absolutely,
to be with you.
absolutely. So while we are with you, tell people a little bit about your role and what can they expect. We don't want to give away too much, but tell them what can they expect. And Trisha plays Mama Luberta.
Mama Luberta. She is, everybody's sweet aunt or sweet grandmother. Just someone that you can go to the house and something's always on the stove. Something's ready to eat. She's always trying to feed you. Um, she's the kind of lady that other women come to, they confide in because they're going through some things, and she's always got something encouraging to say. But Luberta is one of those folks. she just speaks her mind. She
Mhm.
doesn't hold back. She talks about whatever she wants to talk about, how she wants to talk about it. So it's a pleasure playing her.
And you did an excellent role bringing that to life. And then in a few moments, we'll talk back to you because I want to talk about what was it like creating that role again. And we'll talk about the again portion in a few moments. All right, next to her is my sister and my great friend. We know her, and I have to say it because it's what you were born into. This is one of Pastor QE and Mary Hammond's beautiful daughters. And this is the eldest daughter. What she goes by is Poetess the Queen. Queen, glad to have you in this production and thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad to be a part of it again.
Absolutely. So for this one, I did something that I okay, let me say this. And Angela Barnes is watching, so she can confess because she had the same test. Everybody wave at Angela. Angela actually did the second year of I'll Be Home for Christmas. And then we have Lisa Tony on. Lisa is actually in this production. Therese is on. Therese is actually in this production, and he's been with us for a while. We actually pre-recorded some segments with Therese, so we'll show that in a few moments. So Queen actually plays two roles in this theatrical production. And so for those who know me, you really have to sell yourself because when you play two roles, the audience has to see that you're actually playing two roles. And she did an awesome job doing that. So I'll tell you what, let's talk about Shantae.
Ooh, my. Um, well, Shantae, first of all, stretched me out of my element. The character Shantae is a strong woman that had to come into her strength. She's a representation of a lot of women who try to hide pain with strength and our what we know is black girl magic. And she comes out of a situation that she was taught never to get into, but she finds her way out of it with the help of her her background in prayer, her strength in God and in herself. And it really pushed me to that point because I've never been in her situation to that extent. So but I can say that both she and I have been taught to pray and know that that's the route that you take when you're trying to make a move. So that character is going to be very interesting for those who see it.
Absolutely. And then this beautiful lady at the bottom in the green t-shirt is my friend, my sister, Beryl Bash. You can come off mute, Beryl. So Beryl is actually another founding member. And what was so unique about Beryl, when Beryl first came to me, she said, look, all I want to do is act. She said, and I can sing background. She said, that's it. And so I do everybody. I said, okay. And I think Leo may have told you, he said, but you know, Japal, if he sees it in you, he's gonna pull it out of you. And so that is exactly what happened. Two productions after our first one, Beryl ended up serving as an assistant director and a stage manager. And what was so funny, because one prayer that I always had, whoever would be by my side in that position, they had to be me. And if God allowed, let them be me times 10. Well, when that happened, I don't think the cast was ready because one night I had gotten sick and I just couldn't make rehearsal. So she had called me and they were literally texting me in rehearsal saying, okay, you set us up. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? I said, y'all in good hands. Y'all are in great hands. But Beryl is great in both capacities and blessed to still have her back again in the role of an actress. So tell us about, but before I do that, so this role was funny. Beryl had never been married in either one of my shows. So in this time we did something a little different. So Therese, which we'll hear from him in a few moments, they're actually husband and wife in this one. So tell us a little bit, in your opinion, who David and Tawanda is.
Um,
Wow, I didn't expect that question as far as who David and Tawanda, who they represent. What I will start with saying is this role of Tawanda definitely stretched me. So it's not just the married aspect in the plays. You know, I've been single now going on 10 years. So I kept telling Japal, I don't have these kind of conversations. I don't know what to do. So it was definitely a stretch. But I would say that David and Tawanda would be an eye opener for us as it relates to communication, as it relates to respect in relationships, period, but definitely in a marital state. So it definitely stretched. I think it stretched us both for sure, but it definitely stretched me, and so I'm honored to play the role of Tawanda.
Cool. And then we're going back up to the top to Carrie Brackett, which she goes by Poet Carrie. And so, for those of you who haven't guessed it yet, yes, this is the first time, and Carrie is new to the Divine Vision family officially. This is the first time that we've actually cast a husband and wife, and Queen's other role, her and Carrie are actually playing a married couple in this show. So I want to hear from Carrie to get it started. We're actually going to flip flop on what it was like working with your wife, and then tell us in your own words, who would you say Felicia and Kevin are?
First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity. It was definitely a blessing to actually work with my wife, in this role. It was actually a lot of fun. We cut up, we laugh a lot, that kind of thing. So, this role, playing along with my wife, it was just second nature, basically. It was just like another conversation at the house that we usually have. So definitely, had a lot of fun and so on and so forth. So playing this role, it definitely, I won't say challenged me, but it definitely gave me another perspective as far as, being a husband, being a loving husband, where, you don't really see, Black love being portrayed, a lot in our community. So, playing this role, I, didn't take that to heart. I really wanted this to make sure that not only Black husbands, but Black couples, actually had a positive light, in this role. So I knew how important this was, as far as the scene. So I'm definitely, appreciative to J. Paul for, giving us the opportunity to actually showcase what Black love truly looks like, So.
Absolutely. And Queen, in your own words, tell us who Kevin and Felicia are.
So Felicia is the supportive wife who learns to lean more so on her husband more than she has before. I think with Felicia's role, she exhibits how the wife and the husband, like the wife can still lean on the husband, but still be the strong, independent woman she is. And she's Google eyes for her husband, and that's what I love about this role. It's like Felicia would definitely be me, because when she looks at her husband, she sees everything that she wants in love, and that's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. And then last, for the extras that are on now, we have another newcomer to the Divine Vision family, and that is Tanya Marshall. And Tanya, you can go ahead and unmute.
Good evening, everyone.
And
hello.
And Tanya plays the role of Essence. So I want you to tell us about Essence, and you can even share some of the conversation we had about Essence.
Essence, I think, represents a large number of African American women in 2020 going into 2021. I think a lot of women, even those who are married, can probably understand her frustration She is all over the place at 36. She has it together. Yes, she doesn't have it together. She knows everything. Yes, she still needs her mom to tell her what to do. But she knows more than her mother. So I feel like she's a woman in transition. She's a woman because she's at that age where, where everybody expects you to be an adult. You don't get a pass because it's like, oh, she's 30. You 36. You should know. And she is made by her career. I think that is the only thing that she has that she can control, because everything outside of her control frustrates her. I think if she could control her single life, she would be, I don't know if she would be married, but I think she would be in a relationship, and I think she would like to have what the other couple would have. Like, she wants to be that, but at the same time, to protect herself. And I think a lot of women have done this. We want it, but to protect ourselves because we don't have it, we say we don't want it. And so you see that battle in all of that. And what's interesting is I would love to have a conversation with her and go, do you actually read the scriptures that your mother gives you? Do you actually pray when she tells you to pray? Just I started thinking about that. Like, even though we're done filming, I still was reading it because I understand that frustration. I get it, and I think a lot of people will resonate. I think some people may not like that character because they see themselves in her, and they go, ugh, I don't like her. And then some people go, oh, do I really come off like that? I think it's going to be like, do I show up in the world that way? Because I think some of us do. And like I was telling you, I didn't want her to come off as the angry Black woman.
Right.
We have trigger words now that you can't tell a Black woman that she's aggressive. Like, oh, or she's hard to work with. Or she has an attitude. And so because of how politically correct we have to be when we deal with Black women, we can't just be strong. We can't just be resilient. So I didn't want to portray her that way to where people lose focus on what her frustration actually is. And it's bigger than that. I think in so many ways, I don't think she's taking the time to love herself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, and I also would like to ask her, are you in the family business because that's what makes money? Is that what you really wanted to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many levels. Like, she's like, because she puts out like, and I see a lot of African American women do this. I'm 6 figures. I do this. I do that. I do this. And technically, that doesn't make you marketable for a relationship. It makes you marketable for a professional job. But men don't care about that. And that's interesting to me because she calls a man needy. See, there's a lot of things. Like, I just want to do Iyanla and be like, come in, my love. Like, I really just want to, come in, my beloved. I just really want to, get down to the, change the pathology. You know how
Right.
I just really want to just sit her down and get her a green notepad and a t-shirt and some cards and some rocks and just tell her, where do we begin? I feel like she needs to be on Iyanla's couch because Iyanla, and I just need to tell her, there's going to be times where you're not going to like me. Just so.
And that's what I was telling you last night in the you all in their virtual meet and greet. This character, along with all of them, I actually see them being in their own shows or show with some of the other characters. That was just a groundbreaking for all of them. And you're right. Essence needs to. There's a lack of accountability, first of all, there.
Yes. I think that she I don't know. But I understand it because I know a lot of women feel that way. And I hope that they look at it and go, do I show up in the world that way? If I do, how do I change it? how do we maneuver through when you don't have what you want, and all you have is maybe your career, because that's literally what she has. Like, she just has her money and her career and her mama. I would like to know who her mama is and how her mom talks to her. It's just a lot of dynamics to Essence that I would like to know. Where is her father? Like, does she have siblings? Like, it's just so much I want to just talk to her and be like, ooh, child, you know. She's interesting to me, but I think that she's a good representative of the frustration that Black women have in 2020, going into 2021. You hear it. And when I read it, I was like, and I actually did the scene for some girlfriend. They was like, "Oh, that's us." Like, they literally like, "Oh, that's every Black woman in America." So I think it's spot on. I think it's spot on for people who feel like her.
Absolutely.
And I think, Japal, if I can, I think that it is amazing when you have such a beautifully
Yes.
written work that you can take a monologue and begin to
Right.
dialogue. Like, that opens up a level of conversation for families, for single women, for married women, for older
Right.
women that have, everything. This production is absolutely amazing, Japal. So thank you for sitting down and putting pen to paper and then trusting us to to breathe life into these
Mhm.
characters, to give them color, to give them a melody and a song. Like, thank you. It's such an amazing work.
Right. Because to hear y'all say, like, when I gave you the script, you would text me or message me and say, okay, I got to break down the layers in this because this character has a lot going on, or wait a minute, I need to take this character step by step. So to see you all do the work to get into the character, and here's a side bit. None of us have had any physical interaction at all. Everything was done virtual. I told them if you need to call me, you can. If you need to text me, you can. But we haven't had any physical interaction. So I give kudos to you in that aspect because you all were still able to maneuver through this in spite of a pandemic and bring this to life from the comforts of um, your own home and wherever you chose to be. So that is definitely kudos to you. So now we have Therese in. He surprised me because I thought we were going to do the pre-tape segments, but I like this even better.
Oh, y'all, I'm here.
So let's get him unmuted. All right. So we've heard from Beryl who David and Tawanda are. Tell us in your own words who David and Tawanda are.
Ooh, Lord, y'all. Um, to to want to give me the business. You hear me? Woo, y'all pray for me in this part here. Um, Me and Tawanda are a very interesting couple. Tawanda is the wife who is on it. She has her own hair care product line. You know, Tawanda is the money maker. I don't want to give too much of the show away, but I have a business as well, but it's not as profitable as Tawanda would want it. So Tawanda is she giving me the blues. I'm talking about Bobby Bland, Johnny Taylor blues. You hear me? She giving it to me, fish fry blues. So it is definitely going to be a interesting part. But I had such an awesome time recording that scene with Beryl. But Beryl, you are a sweetheart just deep down inside. And like Paul said, it was really really hard for Beryl because like she kept saying when we were doing this, it was like she was like, Japal, like I can't, I'm stretched. And so we were trying and we were trying, and then we finally just, Japal said, just make it your own. Let's just do it. And that's what we did. We did it, and it came out amazing.
And so when I gave them the role, Therese called me immediately. He said, okay. He said, you in charge. He said, but when I see you, he said, I'm going to get you. He said, you know, this is not me. Because for those who saw him in Comfort and Joy, he was married in that show too. But Carlos and
Right.
Tony was the wife in that one. Their personalities are night and day. Tony was the submissive wife, supporting you. We don't make a lot of money, but you know, we're gonna get through this. God is on our side. But Tawanda, and I'm gonna put a period right there.
Ooh,
To watch it
ooh.
tomorrow. And so we're gonna continue this conversation. But thanks to all those who purchased their tickets. And just in case you have not purchased your tickets, you still have time to do so. And the website information is on the screen. That's divinevisionent.com. Again, the website is divinevisionent.com.
Y'all go
And
get
when,
the tickets.
yes, please. And when you get there, you're going to go to upcoming shows. And of course, this is the only upcoming show that we have, so it shouldn't be hard to find. And you'll definitely be glad that you purchased your ticket. And please share it with others. Please share it with others. And 7:00 p.m. tomorrow, it all goes down. I have another cast member
I'm
on.
ready.
I'm trying to make sure she's not frozen before I bring her in. And it looks like she may be. All right, while we're trying to get her situated, what I want to do is kind of shift gears a little bit because I thought we would have more people joining. And if they do, I'll definitely rotate you all out. So I definitely want to let's talk from some of the founding members for a few, just to hear about your dealings with the company. Tell you what, let's start with Beryl. Okay, so
What do you
let
want
me
to
let me
share?
tell a little bit about how this show started. Actually, I'll Be Home for Christmas was the first. So when we started this production, it was very interesting, and many of you are hearing this for the first time tonight. Five of those characters, those were not in originally the people that were intended to get the roles. Pam was one of them. Pam's name was Brenda. Yeah, Brenda Rivers. That role had actually been assigned to someone else, and we had started the table read and everything. Big Mama that Catrice played, that role was assigned to someone else. Again, we had started the table read and the rehearsal. Beryl's role was assigned to someone else. Shout out to Kendra Stutmeyer. Kendra was actually in the first cast, and Kendra referred Beryl, had been knowing Beryl for years because the progressive choir that I was president over at New Hope, the singing groups that she was in, we actually sang a lot of the same places. So had already known of her, and Kendra said, I got somebody you need to meet. They can just tear this part to pieces. And she did. She really did. And so what was it like your first time coming into rehearsal, meeting
So,
everybody?
first of all, major shout out to Kendra Stedemeyer. Definitely for making that connection. I remember when she called me and she said, you know, we're already in rehearsals, but I think you could do this part. And I'm like, no, like, wait, somebody else has already started that part. First of all, you guys have already started gelling. Like, I don't know this director. Like, how does he know I'm gonna be okay for this role? Like, what if he doesn't like me? So it was a lot of nerves initially coming in. But then, of course, when I got there, I realized that Divine Vision Productions at the time was absolutely just a family. You know what I mean? So they made me feel so comfortable. It was such an amazing atmosphere to grow. Because I have never done anything theater wise prior to this outside of church. And so to see myself come to life on stage in this element is definitely eye-opening. It helps me to know that there are so many layers to Beryl that can be unfolded in this element that I don't oftentimes allow myself to release and relate and be in the moment. So even, you know, the stretching of this current character, like Therese said, we were finally able to just accomplish it. And us accomplishing it was really just me sitting there saying, okay, like, this is acting. Like, you want to act. It shouldn't be a character that you're comfortable with. It should not be something that you've done before. Stretch yourself beyond where you are so that the layers of the character can be open, so that the conversations and the dialogues that need to happen can happen. And so being a part of this company, like, it has stretched me. I've been able to play different roles, been in different elements. I've been able to see the stage from different views. So it's just been an honor.
Again, glad to have you on board. Now we're gonna go back to Trisha.
I know when I first heard that you were, taking that leap of faith and doing what you felt a call to do, I was in admiration. I really was. I knew that you had the youth and the vigor and the vision to see that thing through. And I felt sort of like I was on the outside looking in on a bunch of young folks having a good time, and that I was just getting to come along and enjoy. Still feel that way. And but I saw the way the Lord's blessed you to embrace your call and encourage so many other people, to embrace their call, as you're hearing tonight. You hear people saying, man, this is awesome. And I'll tell you, don't take it for granted, folks, because I don't have anything like this in my neck of the woods in the rural country in Georgia. So there is hardly not that many people at all in our community that stretching out and doing this. So DeVine is this is special. And I appreciate the fact that I had that opportunity a
And
while
fun
back
fact
to
about
connect.
the nurses in the first show. So we named the nurses Mary and Martha, and you would have had to sing that first show to see why. Um, when I wrote that role, two people came to mind, and one of those people were Belinda George Peoples. And the funny thing about that, when I first started, we both had plays at the same time, so that's why I've never been able to cast her into a role. Hopefully, I'll have that honor someday. And you were the second person that came to mind. Fun story, and this is really telling history. When Pastor Clark became the pastor of New Hope, Trish and Belinda, you did not see any drama ministries. Now, let me paraphrase that. You saw black churches doing speeches, and I'm just gonna say it, kind of like homemade plays for Christmas and Easter. But what Belinda and Trish brought to New Hope was something you totally had never seen. I'm talking about, it was Broadway in its own way. And I remember just as a kid sitting on the sidelines watching. My sisters were old enough to participate, but I wasn't. And so me writing that and remembering her voice, Trish has always had a beautiful soprano alto voice. So when I was writing that part, I said, yeah, I've got to cast Trish in this. So you being able to do that role was definitely just a dream come true. And then Thomas Singh did the first show with you. Kudos to Thomas Singh. Bringing you all in, just gelling together was definitely something that was worth something to see. And then you actually went on to introduce some of the audience to Miss Luberta in a version of this show, which we're putting on tomorrow. So that is just an honor. So definitely glad to still have you on board and looking forward to a few more projects that I have in the works for you. Absolutely.
All right.
So
All
now
right.
I want to go back to Queen. So how Queen got hooked up with Divine Vision is actually a funny story. For our second show, the second show that we did was actually two plays in one. One was a Black History piece, because when we did that show, it was in February, and then but we did a um, love show, very similar to what we're doing tomorrow. And um, I had been knowing of Queen and knew that she did spoken word. And I kind of used that show like as a pilot to see where it went. And so Queen actually came in and did spoken word. And so we kept in contact, and she's like, okay, I'm ready to get out of my comfort zone. She was like, seeing your people, she was like, man, I can do this. I got to do it. And so finally, she came in, auditioned, and here we are now, 7 years
Yes. Um, I've been with this company. Like I said, the first time I actually acted on stage in this capacity was 2014 when we were at the Carver Theater. And I didn't know too many people in the company. I met some amazing people. Um, and as everyone has stated before, it was a family type of atmosphere. The first time I was on stage with this group, everything seemed like a well-oiled machine. Everything went very well, and J. Paul looks like he's a sweet guy on here, but to see him in his element, my gosh, I was like, who is this fella? You know, when he puts that director's hat on, he plays no games, although he still wants us to be ourselves. He definitely was striving for excellence, and that's one thing that I respected about being a part of this company. And I was like, I'll stick with it because I wanted to get into acting. I did the spoken word when we were at the Boutwell for one of the plays, and I saw then that all of the plays that he was doing was well put together, well constructed, and some of the friendships that I've made from those interactions have lasted to this day. We'll get on the phone at 11 o'clock at night and be talking to 2 o'clock in the morning, just laughing and joking, talking about everything. And that to me shows that we're not just a theater company, but we're a family. And it was, I've been rolling with him since 2014. So that's about 6 years now, which is, I'm telling you, it's amazing, and I thoroughly enjoy myself. That's why I brought my husband in.
See, you've been with me so much time, you've lost count. It's actually been 7 years.
7 years.
Yes, seven
Yeah.
years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about it
So now,
because I did the poetry thing.
so now what I want to do is hear a little bit from Tanya. One of the things that everyone will tell you when I bring newcomers in, I try to bring people in from different backgrounds and talents. So Tanya has an impressive theater resume, and she has done theater with um, some local all black theater companies and then some mixed theater companies, meaning that they're blacks and whites. So, in your opinion, I kind of want you to tell us in your own way, what do you find the difference in working with a mixed theater company or an all black?
Oh, that's an interesting question. That's a loaded question. uh, so I started out in a mixed, predominantly white theater company with South City. They were in Alabaster at the time, and Alan Gardner and his wife Frances started that theater company. Alan has passed on, but he was a theater teacher, and he also was in Walk the Line. And so my very first role was very small, and it was Helen Robinson in To Kill a Mockingbird. And the majority of the shows that I've done have been with mixed theater companies. Um, the difference being the audience, that's number one. A lot of times, the faces that I see that look like me are because I've invited them. Or sometimes you don't, or they're already a part of that theater company and you know them because you work with them and they're coming to support that theater. As far as talent, there's not a difference. There's talent in both sectors. Budget sometimes,
Right.
some, because I've worked with some that are just coming up and they're trying to get their funding But that doesn't really affect me as far. I think it affects when you're because I sit on the board with Aldridge, so that kind of affects if you're on the other side. But as an actor, it doesn't affect me because if I do a production and you need me to have a costume, I have no problem going to get it. So I don't really. So there's not really a difference other than just culture. Sometimes the plays that you have selected are a little different when it's a mixed theater company versus an all black theater company. And the history is more interesting because I'm black, so I like the history. Right. And when you have a Marva Douglas who talks about how she started Aldridge, and for her to be in her 80s and still acting. In theater and also on film. Like she was in, I think she either did Queen Sugar. Yeah, she had a role in Queen Sugar. So, and she works with other theater companies and ushers, and so you can tell that you're around somebody who loves theater, whether she's being an usher to your seat or whether she's in a show. So, I think just that part of it is just the history and being able to talk to people who were in this city at a time where there wasn't an all black theater company. Because I think Aldridge was one of the first, if I'm not. So I think to me that I like the fact of that connection, being a part of something that's historic. So that's the difference. Other than that, it's just the audience and the work.
And definitely we give kudos to Miss Marva Douglas. As you said, she's well in her 80s and she shows no time of stopping soon. So definitely kudos to her. What I'm going to do right now, I do want you all to remain in the studio, but we have a pre-recorded video from one of our male founding members who was unable to be with us tonight or participate in this show due to a work schedule. So that segment was pre-recorded. So we're going to go ahead and play at that time. And y'all don't go anywhere if you're watching. I guarantee you want to stay for the remainder. And Lisa, we're still trying to get you in. If you would check your texts and the private chat, we're going to try to get you in before we end tonight.
Oh.
All right, everyone. As I told you, we were featuring some of our founding members tonight, and I'm thrilled to be talking with one of them. He's indeed a great asset to DeVine Vision Entertainment. He's a friend and brother, and just great to have a chance to interview him. His name is none other than Mr. Willie Taylor III. What's up, Willie?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Great. And to tell you a little bit about Willie and how he got involved, it was a very unique experience. Willie has been with us since we started in 2012. He's been there from the beginning. And so how Willie got involved, we had casted just about everybody for the role, but there were a few male leading roles that I lacked. And so, as they always say, it's good to know people who can find you what you need. So I reached out to a few friends and choral directors in the city, and one of those being Dr. Kevin Turner, who is the former director of the UAB Gospel Choir, which Willie was a part of for numerous years. And Willie was a member of the choir at that time. And so Dr. Turner, he put a post out, and Willie was one of the people that responded. And so, and this was very rare. Willie actually came to rehearsal where we were. Probably was nervous. I'm sure we'll hear that from him in a few moments. And what I actually had him to do, because the lady that played his wife, shout out to Ashley Butts, she played the original. I don't remember her name in the show.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, she played Willie's original wife. Willie's name was Carlos. I think her name was it was Carlisa. Ashley, that's wrong. Charlie to our heads are not a heart. So long ago. But yeah, that was she played the original part of that role. And what I did, we were actually ending rehearsal when Willie came in. And so he actually read the role in front of everyone. I think some more of the main characters were there. And when he finished, he looked back at me. He said, how did I do? I said, the role is yours. So the only thing I need you to do, I said, we got to work on your volume and your tone. I said, but other than that, you're and the unique thing about that, Willie had done some dramatic scenes with UAB Gospel Choir, but this was his first time acting in a professional setting. So Willie, what was it like when you had to read in front of everyone?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I didn't know what to expect. And all I kept thinking about is, man, I hope I get this right. I hope I get this right. And I wanted, I remember reading the lines and just thinking like, is that what they wanted? I don't even know. I have no idea what I'm doing. I hope I don't look crazy up here. I was just, I didn't know what to think. It's like, well, I got through it without stumbling, maybe it was okay.
And definitely he did something right because he went on to do, I think, 5 other shows with us. He did all but one. And Willie is one, all of my actors, my male actors, they take it serious. But Willie is one, when it comes to learning those lines, he gives it his all. He gives it his all. You could see it, and it's just been a joy. So what are some of your favorite shows and roles that you've done with me?
Let's see. Definitely that very first role was definitely one of my most memorable and one of my favorite. Again, like you said, shout out to Ashley, because I feel like she helped me so much. She helped me relax when I was nervous. She was like, that's okay. You can do it. Right. Just look at me and just think about this. She really coached me a lot. And Leo helped me a lot too. Because I remember the first time seeing him, and I was like, my goodness, this dude do this every day. He do this professionally. Like, I gotta ask him, like, teach me how to do this. Give me some pointers so that I can do this like you do this. Definitely that first role. It was, I remember thinking it was so fun. Another memorable role, I think it was Love, Love, Love that I did with Warren. And I remember, acting with Warren. It was fun, but he was just he was good. And he was so good at just kind of adding his own spin to the script. And I just kept.
Yeah, that was Comfort and Joy where you played.
Joy. That's it.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, he was giving it to me. He was ad-libbing, and I was like, I'm gonna have to come up with something. He's giving it to me. That was fun. That was fun. Gosh, there's so many, just working with such great people, man. I made such good relationships. But it was, all of it was fun, man. All of it.
There's one role I want to talk about because it was definitely night and day from Willie's character. You actually see that character, how that character was built in this particular production, and his character name was Patrick. And so similar storyline to this one. You've already heard Patrick and Tawanda talk about that, so he played that role. So when you first read that script initially, and it was so funny because I cast you and Ashley the first time we did that production as well. When you first read that script, what were you thinking when you read that?
I said, okay. I mean, this ain't my personality. Like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know. I was like, I think he gave me the wrong part. This ain't who I am. I was shocked. I didn't think I could do it.
But they definitely made it work. And so he went on to play it in actually both of the revisions of the screen. And so here it is a third time. So here's what I want to end with, because we haven't said this out publicly a lot. Willie actually co-wrote with When It Was Love, Love, Love on me. And we co-wrote on this version as well. So let's kind of talk about how that actually was pieced together, because I have to be honest, without you writing, assisting me in writing, this wouldn't have been birthed like it was. So kind of tell me, like, taking what I had written and adding yours on, what was that like?
I was really nervous because I never, again, you had asked me again to step outside of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna mess all of this up. But I have to give you kudos, because you really pushed me to push myself and do something that I had never done before. And I just went for it. I just kind of went with what I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it worked. I trusted you, and I think I was really relying on Catrice a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think who else was there that I really just kind of looked to, like, is that okay? Did that sound okay? Gosh, who was it? Who was that? I know Catrice was heavy. I can't remember if Leo was there or not. I don't think he was. But there was one other person. I feel awful because I can't remember who it was. But I just really trusted y'all leadership, and just I mean, I'm honored that you had that much confidence in me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'd never done it before. I didn't trust myself. But I just wanted to challenge myself and do something and see, if I could.
And you're probably gonna laugh, because you're probably gonna be shocked. I remember this. I remember when we were doing a table read. Once you had edited, and I went back and edited everything together, and we were doing the table read. Some of the scenes, you were like, "Wait a minute." He was like, "If I can, this person would do it like this. We need to count them." And we laughed for about 5 minutes, because one thing, we're both Capricorns.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of similarities. And after we laughed, we made the changes. And when we did the table read with the cast, it was just definitely mind blowing. So the last question, and we'll wrap this up. So with this year that we've dealt with in 2020, COVID-19, which we're still facing, a time of social unrest, prejudice, racism, just a number of things, several people losing their jobs, several families losing their loved ones. Why do you think this particular play is important during Christmas time, at a time like this?
I think it's super important because people still need to have hope, and people still need to know that, although circumstances change, well, there's a will, there's a way, and it just, don't look at it as a sense of, I can't do something and I have to wait and hopefully until this thing blows over. Look at it as a challenge. Like, okay, so how can I still get this out? Or how can I still do these things and allow it to help you to grow in your creativity, But I think it's super important because people need that hope, man. And when they see, this sort of thing being done, they'll be like, man, that's a great idea. I wonder if I could do this, or I wonder if I could do that. And I think it can just spark, that the flames, and just fan the flames of creativity, man. Because we want people to we need the arts. We do, man. And we need people to continue to try to be creative in spite of, this is a hard season for a lot of people. Losing loved ones, and like you said, everything that's gone on. People need hope. People need hope.
Absolutely. So I said that was the final question, but there's no way we can end this interview. I gave Willie probably what I would consider, I'm sure he feels the same way too, probably one of the greatest musical assignments that anyone could ever have. And when we did our celebration of Black History and Love, he actually was graced with the opportunity of playing Birmingham's own Eddie Kendricks. And when I tell you, this dude killed, oh my God, because what we only saw is what when he practiced the music with the musicians, but he found his own background singers. They were night in and night out to rehearse the moves. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, oh my God. And if that isn't enough, he actually had a chance to do this performance in front of the sister and the brother-in-law and the niece of Eddie Kendricks. What was that moment like for you? First, tell me how it was. What were your thoughts when I gave you this role?
First of all, I thought it was hard. You have a knack for pushing me outside of my comfort zone. First of all, I thought it was hard, and I was like, Lord, how am I pull this off? But man, it was humbling. It was humbling. Even getting the opportunity to kind of speak with his sister, just about learning who he was as a person, like that was humbling, man. And gosh, for them to sit there and not boo me because they real, what I'm saying? Like they knew what he really sounded like, and for them to not boo, to me that meant the world to me. If they could just sit there and endure that, what I tried to do in my way of paying homage to one of Birmingham's greatest, one of our legends, man, that was extremely humbling to me. Extremely humbling.
So we got to talk about that falsetto range.
Oh Lord. Ooh, Eddie was one of a kind.
Cause see, Eddie actually sang falsetto too. That's not said a lot, but when I tell you, when he sent me a recording of him singing before I had a chance to witness with the band, I called him. I was like, and he took a moment to answer the phone. When he finally answered, I'm like, this is it. So we definitely thank Willie for doing that interview. There are some more portions, but I did play majority of it. So as we are nearing the end, we've been trying to get her in. So we have one final cast member that we will hear from, and then we will conclude for the evening. But as we've been saying for the whole show, we have been talking about our virtual production tomorrow, the COVID-19 Christmas Love Chronicles, which takes place tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow at 7 p.m. And if you still don't have your tickets, you can purchase those tickets at info at divinevisionent.com. And that information is on the screen. I'm going to bring Lisa Tony in. All right, Lisa, you're rolling. Good evening. And Lisa has a small role in this one, but she is also new to the Divine Vision Entertainment family, and we're glad to have her on board. So, Lisa, tell us about what people can expect from your role as the narrator tomorrow.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, and happy holidays. Uh, I am the female narrator, and she processes her husband um, being deceased right when she decides to try one more time to maybe love. Uh, and she said he's not a perfect man, but she loved him and he passes away. So she basically says if she had to give advice to someone, it would be to trust God and to know that your strength lies in you. So it was really, like I said last night, it was pretty interesting to play that role or to do that narrator part because some of that I have experienced.
Right.
I have been in an abusive relationship and an abusive marriage. So a lot of it spoke to, resonated to me. The very first speaking part resonated to me very loudly. So I'm looking forward. And I back almost 30 years ago when Belinda George Peoples brought Look Where He Bought Me From to New Hope Baptist Church, I was a part of that original cast. And I got bitten by the drummer bug. I always knew that I was a character. I always knew that, I could, take a stage by storm. People are always gathering around, talking to me. I kind of knew I was a natural talent. And I did several pieces I was in the beginning scene, but my scene that I'm mostly known for is I played Barbara Jordan, and I did her speech that she did to the Democratic Congress, no, Democratic Convention, do. So when Japal was doing it again and he was looking through some clips, he remembered that I did that part. So I actually came back in 18 and I did Barbara Jordan. I did I had like 6 major parts. So I was like, oh my God. So I kind of felt like Mr. Willie, am I going to be able to handle all of this and all of the clothes changing and the earring changing, and but it worked out well, and it was really really nice. So I'm really really excited to be a part and to be the new person and to learn and to grow from all of you all experts.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've had a great experience with all of you. And these are just some of the people that you will witness tomorrow. The cast total is about 10. You will actually see the entire cast featured tonight. If you go to the Divine Vision Entertainment Facebook page, you will see those featured. And as always, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Everything is under Divine Vision Entertainment. And again, we've been talking about the show, which takes place tomorrow. Tomorrow, that is Wednesday, December the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. And again, this is the cast, some of the cast of the COVID-19 Christmas Love Chronicles. And to purchase those tickets, you can go to divinevisionent.com. And I want to make sure that we're clear on this before we end the show. For those who've already purchased your tickets, you will receive an email from my team tonight. And what you will need to do, you will receive a link to a private Facebook page. The private Facebook page is where the stream will be shown. This will not be shown on a public platform, which let me repeat that again. This will not be shown publicly on Facebook's private platform because this is an original work that Willie and I have done. And we want to make sure that the work is held and will always be property of Divine Vision Entertainment. So the only way you will be able to get in is using that same name and email address that you purchased to purchase your ticket. And like I said, that will be how you will view it. Several people have messaged me today and or text me, you purchased tickets, but you won't be able to purchase tomorrow. So the way we're doing it for now, you just have to wait and see where it appears. You will be able to watch the show tomorrow and all through Christmas Eve. Again, you will be able to watch the show until Christmas Eve, but you still have to have access to the group by purchasing a ticket. So whatever name and email address you use, you can purchase it that way. So if you're one of those who like to watch things again so you can take it all in, you will have that moment. So I want to thank those who are joining. I know some cast members had to get off, but what I'm going to do to end the show tonight, we're going to start with Trish, and then we'll go to Carrie, and then we'll go to Tanya, and we'll close with Lisa. In your own way, I want you to tell the audience why it is a must that they tune into this show tomorrow, and if they're contemplating about buying tickets, why do they need to go ahead and buy those tickets to watch this wonderful show?
Thanks, J. Paul. Please get your tickets because you want to be a part of history, right? You know, this has been a banner year for history making change in this country, in our world. We have so many people who are disconnected, and what a way to just break the monotony of all that we're hearing on the news and just being in the house doing the same old same old. You'll have the opportunity to gather your family around, share a unique experience together. And I don't know, J. Paul can tell me whether or not you can do a watch party through the private link. I don't know, but explore those options as well. Buy your ticket, support work that is being done from the heart. This is not a something that someone's doing to make a lot of money, but because there's a heart thing and they want to give back. So it's worth supporting. Buy your ticket. We're there pitching it for you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Carrie.
Yeah, so just want to reiterate, please, please, please buy your tickets. This is one of those productions that you definitely want to be a part of to support, especially at a time where, the arts has had a struggle because of the fact that, we couldn't, you know, be next to each other and so on and so forth. And we actually had to find, different avenues in order to keep the arts going. And so with that, please, support, buy your tickets, like my castmate was saying, have a watch party or what have you, because we want to keep, supporting not only just the arts, but also the Black arts as well. Because of the fact that, we're at a time where, uh, support is each and every way, share the flyer, that kind of thing. So please buy your tickets. And we're going to have fun
Absolutely.
regardless. We are definitely going to have fun. So,
All right, Tanya.
So I need everyone to support and buy a ticket. You're going to see some amazing acting, a great script. You're going to be entertained. And the cool thing about it is you get to watch it in the comfort of your own
Absolutely.
home. What a cool experience as far as virtual. If you've never seen a virtual show, hey, buy your ticket so you can see it. This is a conversation piece, so it doesn't end after the show is over. You can definitely, I hope that you gather everybody around and you get to support people who really love what they're doing and you're going to enjoy it. You ain't got nothing to do anyway, so buy a ticket.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know many of you wondering where you're saying, well, is this going to be a one-time thing? Well, let me tell you, I really believe, and I'm sure all of the cast members, including those who have logged off, this pandemic has changed things for everyone. So just like virtual learning is a tool that teachers now have, virtual theater is something that we now have when we go back into the theaters. I really believe that a lot of us will be offering in-person performances and virtual theater performances. So this is just the start of stuff. And I want to be clear, all of the funds from this, they're going back into the Divine Vision Entertainment pool, which means we're going to use these funds to fund future virtual shows and shows when we get back on the stage because again, this pandemic, it's affected a lot. And unfortunately, as we were discussing last night, a lot of the grants that have been offered as relief, a lot of our local theater companies, we don't qualify for them due to various reasons. So this year, to celebrate our 8th anniversary, we decided to do a name your price ticket, which means whatever you wanted to do, we were asking for at least a minimum of $8. But if your heart was touched to do more, whatever you decide to do. So again, we want to thank everyone for joining tonight. I see a lot of family and friends on, and yes, you're welcome to sponsor people. Sponsor people this holiday season, this year alone. We should have learned the importance of being a blessing to others. So if you know people that really want to see this show, they don't have $8. I'm sure we all can think of people that we can sponsor. So what better gift to give to someone than the gift of virtual theater? They don't have to drive to see it, but and you never know who needs this. Some people just may need to laugh. Some people just need to smile. For an hour and 15 minutes, people may just need to know, hey, it's going to be okay. So that's what we hope we leave with you after tomorrow. So again, I want to give kudos to all of my cast tonight. And before I leave tonight, I'll recognize every present and former member of Divine Vision Productions, which is now Divine Vision Entertainment. There is no way that we could have lasted 8 years without all of you. I celebrate our past and our present and our former members, and we're looking forward to great things to happen in the future. As always, I say to each of you, keep the faith, and we will be back next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, that will be our final show for the year. And we look forward to the dialogue and that great conversation. So have a great night from our cast members and the entire Divine Vision family. We wish you all a Merry Christmas. Please stay safe. And please, y'all, let's be responsible this Christmas. I know that this Christmas is different. We can't gather with families in the large settings Y'all, please be safe. The only way that we're going to see a decrease in this virus, we're going to have to do what we've been asked to do by medical professionals. So on that note, again, keep the faith. I love you all. Have a safe, a wonderful Christmas day, and I will see you back next Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Have a great night.